Hi everybody, this is Cooking with Joel, segment number 5. Today we're going to be doing Beijing beef. Went out and found a recipe online and it's similar to that of Panda Express. What we're going to do is there's 3 stages. The first is marinade, second is making the sauce, and the third we will actually do the frying of the food and putting it in a wok. First thing I need to do is get 1.5 pounds of flank steak chopped really thin. There's some soy sauce, some rice vinegar, and black pepper. That's what we use. We marinate the meat, let it sit for a while. After it's sat, then we're going to create the sauce. For the sauce, we need brown sugar, oyster sauce, tomato ketchup, rice vinegar, and sambal. I could not find sambal, so I'm using a chili garlic sauce that has some red pepper in there, and we'll see how that works. Then after that, when we fry it, we had several things we needed. Vegetable oil, cornstarch, garlic, green bell pepper, onion, and for garnish, I'm putting some sesame seeds and some green onion. After we get all this going, we'll start seeing what it looks like. Now to chop up the meat and put it in a marinade. So the first thing I need to do is to get the thinly sliced steak cut into thin strips. So I'm going through and making them thin strips based on about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch thick, and finish the rest of this, and then we'll go to the marinade. I've got the meat all cut. Now I'm going to put 1.5 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1.5 tablespoons of rice vinegar, and 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Mix it up and let it marinate. Now for the sauce that we will be using, it is 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of ketchup, 3 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 3 tablespoons of oyster sauce, and 1 tablespoon of the chili mix. Put that together, put in a bowl. All ingredients in the bowl. We will now stir this up. And this becomes our sauce that we will be using during the wok. It's kind of thick with all of the brown sugar and the chili sauce, but it looks like it's getting very mixed and should be good to go. When cutting your green bell pepper, I take the top and the bottom off, then I pull out the middle. What we want is just the flesh on the sides. Then I'll go ahead and cut this up and chop this up into smaller pieces, and then we'll get ready. I already have the onions, and I'm going to do the green onions next as well. Next step is to get the beef, dredge it in cornstarch. It's pretty hard to get the cornstarch out smoothly, so I use a paper plate here, put it down there. I'm going to spread it out, dredge the beef, and then I'm going to start frying it. It says to not do it in big bunches, if you have to do it in batches so that it doesn't steam. If you put too much of it in there, it doesn't fry, it steams. So helpful tip there, do it in batches. Okay, so here we go, getting ready to start frying. I got the oil, 1/2 cup of oil in there. I got the beef and it's dredged in the cornstarch. I'm going to start adding it slowly, and it will start frying up. Give it a couple minutes, turn it. That's 6 to 7 minutes per batch. As you're cooking these will get more crispy, and that's what they're supposed to look like. If you're familiar with the Beijing beef at Panda Express, it's kind of like a crispy beef. So that's what we're trying to get to here. You'll see that they start looking more like chicharrones in Spanish, but what we're looking here is to get meat that is very crispy, and we'll do this in batches. We're still on our first batch, and we'll get through the rest of this, and we'll get to the rest of the cooking. Hi everybody. So let's get started eating this Beijing beef. It looks really good. It's crispy beef that's been fried in a wok, that's been cornstarch, covered with this Beijing sauce that has a lot of good things like brown sugar and ketchup and a couple of other things. It looks really good. I don't think it's as spicy as I wanted it to be. This one came out a little more mild. I tried this earlier, but let's take a taste. We're in the cup that Virginia bought for me, or the bowl that Virginia bought for me. Thanks for again, Virginia. I made myself some white rice here, but I'm just going to try and eat the Beijing beef. It's got a really good flavor. It's got a lot of garlic flavor. I think I put too much garlic when I was making it. I put some, it does have that crispy, crunchy flavor. The beef is not steamed. It is crispy beef. That cornstarch coating really comes across. Little helpful hint there. If it's not as hot as you like it, even though you can add, it says to say sriracha. I'm not a sriracha fan. I like this sauce called pico pico. It's a Mexican hot sauce, so I'm just going to add a little bit of it onto this to see if that will give me a little bit more of a kick. Use whatever hot sauce you like. It's supposed to have a little bit of a kick, but this one seems a little bit sweeter, so I don't think I had enough spice in it. It said to do gochujang. I didn't have gochujang available, so I did a chili and garlic sauce. It had chili flakes in it, but it's still just not hot enough. I like the added heat. Kind of cuts through. It's very, very rich. The sauce on the outside is very rich, so this hot sauce kind of cuts through that to make it a little more balanced. That with the rice, I think is going to be a really good flavor. This reminds me of going out and buying my Beijing beef. I did coat it or added on some scallions at the end and some sesame seeds. Had a little bit of a sesame flavor. But overall, I think this came out pretty good. It's not what I was expecting originally, but I think that there's a couple things that I could modify and spruce it up a little bit to be a little more spicy. But the beef texture itself is just like it. It's got a little, it's very crispy. It's thinly sliced, so when it cooked, it got really crispy. And the sauce, it's pretty good. I think it just needs a little tweaking. All in all, another good meal with Cooking with Joel. So if you want to try a recipe, go out and find one. Find it on the internet, get the ingredients, bring them home. And like I do, just put them in the kitchen, cook it up, and everything will be great. Thanks again for watching Cooking with Joel, number 5, Beijing beef.